Yeah, primal innocence.
How do we bring innocence back to our bodies, to our sexuality, to our emotions? And and actually it's the suppression of them that causes all the problems. Feeling into any desires, any boundaries. Where is the place that the love for yourself can meet the love for the other? And again, you can share what are your desires and your boundaries.
Everyone had their clothes off and we were dancing. There was a real sort of playful, joyful, innocent atmosphere in the room, and I was taken very strongly back to being age 5 or 6 and dancing on the grass in the summer under the sprinklers before we knew that being naked was a thing. And I can remember the primal joy of that. Specifically, remember turning around and seeing rainbows. I was like, oh, there's magic everywhere. It feels very quickly like we're in a family. It's just family. It's just us, and we're playing, and it's safe to do that. Sort of the framework that we use, I think, establishes that very quickly. What we're doing is really learning through the retreat, really practical, slowed right down tools on how do you approach Eros as medicine, and how do you then be receptive to the lessons that you get. What barriers are there within us, or what is there? What areas of resistance or unintegrated parts of ourselves are standing in the way of being in that state of innocence, but with the full power of of our erotic energy.
All the things that are covered are completely life transformational and so good, and they're so relevant for every part of life, in all of its spheres, from relationships to sexuality to work to friendships to family, and these tools can literally be applied to everything, and I feel so grateful.
I feel like sexuality is the perfect tool for shamanic work because, a lot comes up when working with Eros. Like lots of things you're ashamed of, lots of things that you would rather avoid, and we really are encouraging and celebrating any expression that wants to come, and picking up a stone and actually looking at the creepy crawly things there and being fascinated by them, and then understanding how the whole like ecosystem, like the composting and it's really just looking at the reality of our own existence. Shadow, but so much of our shadow is in our sexuality that as soon as you put a spotlight on it, you get all sorts of creepy crawly things going everywhere. And it's like coming layer by layer and step by step, and you start to realize that there's such an infinite universe here to be explored.
This retreat has been fantastic. It ripped up my heart. It raised a lot of shit inside me, which was difficult to deal with at the time, but I felt held and safe with the facilitators and assistants in what they were doing and the tools that I've been given to take away for when this shit arises again.
We're working with sexual energy. Like boundaries are of course the first thing we teach, and the most important thing. There should never be any pressure at all, because nobody knows what journey you're meant to be on right now.
I felt so safe during this retreat, and I am someone who doesn't feel safe generally, and whenever I go into new spaces I actually retract myself until I get to a point where I feel safe. And I'm so grateful for Joy and Shiva and the way they hold such a sacred, safe, well-boundaried space. And I'm so glad I came to this work, because I think it requires such a high level of facilitation, and that's really honoured. So I'm really grateful. It's one of the best, most safe spaces I've ever worked in.
Yeah, we come up very quickly against our conditioning of this tiny little cage that we've placed Eros into. This thing that happens with our genitals, and it's way, way more. It's like everything. It's everything, and we're all about releasing Eros from its little prison that somehow it got placed in.
I just shed a lot of layers. I go to many retreats for self-development, and this was honestly one of the best ones
difficult to say what's so good about it without you being here.